Hey everybody, today on my YouTube channel we're going to be talking about the game Indivisible. This game was I think released in 2018 and I had some pretty decent high hopes for it. It looked really good when I saw trailers and stuff like that. So we're going to do our usual thing. I'm going to talk about the good, talk about the bad, and then we'll talk about talk about everything else that kind of goes along with it. So I'm at the end of the game, so we'll probably be heading somewhere else to goof around in. So hopefully there's no spoilers. So first off, the game kind of reminds me of like Valkyrie Profile. It's a platformer. It's it's RPG. It's got a lot of things going on. There's no equipment, but there's platforming. There's all sorts of stuff kind of going on, and that's initially kind of what drew me to play the game. Was I'm a huge fan of the first Valkyrie Profile, and that's what honestly made me want to play this. So secondly, good thing. So you heal outside of battle, so there's no items or anything like that. You just kind of just heal up, and even after this game is a platformer. Even after some of the platforming is done and you're hurt, you'll heal up after after so long. I don't know if I'll be able to show you a battle. I think I went through and killed a lot of enemies without having to go try to find another one. So there's pretty much save points everywhere. And they're also nice about when you fail kind of the platforming sessions, which there are a lot of platforming sessions, that you'll usually start at the at where you failed. So if you're on part 3 of this place, then they'll start you back at part 3. They won't start you necessarily all over again. That's not for all of the game, but that's for a portion of it where they'll start you back where you kind of messed up. And I don't remember all the buttons. It's been like a couple months since I've played this, so I may not remember every item that I forget her. I even forget her name. It's been quite a while since I've played this. She doesn't have a save point. So they give you a ton of experience usually for killing the monsters. And it's usually pretty good. Usually in games like Valkyrie Profile, you typically tend to use the same party over and over again, or at least I do. But in Valkyrie Profile, you can go back and kill enemies. You typically have one or two turns, or I forget what they call it, cycles before you can you have to just completely just like, well, we're done. Odin's calling me back for a status report. And yes, this is a in-game ability that I'm messing around with. So some of the power-ups are really good. There's these little crystals that are around. I don't know if on the map, like there's these little red crystals that I don't have all of them. You can see I kind of missing chunks of the map. So the attack one is really good because it allows you to, I don't even remember how to use a. There we go. It increases their attack. So you start off with 3 attacks, you go up to 4 attacks, and then you can get up to 5 attacks. There's another save point that I just passed. And it seems like I'm not healing after battle like I thought I was. Maybe because there was so many more enemies in these places when there's another one of the teleporters. There's a vast array of characters. So you have Anja, and then these people, and on the bottom left it kind of tells you what they are. And there's all these other people who I have never used. If you really do want to use them, there's this guy. He joined you up. He has no leg. He'll allow you to fight various monsters in kind of a battle, so that you can practice up people. I don't believe you get any experience for it. I only did it one time just to see what he would do. But yeah, there's quite a few characters in here. Not all of them are playable, and not all of them are worthwhile. It's kind of like, again, Valkyrie profile. There's some characters who are really good. There's some characters who are really bad. And I typically found the 4 people that... There was a 5th character, but I had to stop using them. And, I was surprised at how many characters this game actually had. Again, kind of like Valkyrie profile, except you don't have to watch these people die. So that's it for me for all of the good. As I said, I had high hopes. They were kind of crushed. This game to me it's all over the place. And what I mean by that is, actually we'll go into a battle just to goof off. And so, first of all, that there's time blocking. I'm not a fan of time blocking at all. Time blocking, I can't not stand it. It is just annoying to me. That's why I don't like the Mario series, the Mario RPG series. It's because there's too much timed whatever. I stopped playing after, like, I think the second one on. It's like I'm just kind of done with these games. So this actual game it is more of a platformer than an RPG. It tries to sell itself as an RPG, but these battles, if these were normal enemies, these normal enemies would be crushed because he is unbalanced. He's very, very unbalanced. I've seen him hit 300 or 400 times with small enemies close up, and it's just unbelievable how they kind of let that go. And he is just ridiculously overpowered. Just ridiculously overpowered. But yeah, this game is more of a platformer than an RPG, and I think I would have liked it better if it was just a platformer and not an RPG. The RPG adds nothing except headache. That's all it does. It's not balanced. It's not well thought out. The platforming is, thought out, balanced, and difficult. But the actual RPG part of itself is not. There's some difficult parts where they intentionally made it difficult because, again, they didn't understand the full balance of everything. So yeah, you will also be moving constantly between battling and platforming, and sometimes battling and platforming together. And, again, like Valkyrie profile, it just kind of disrupts the flow sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's not like the world-ending problem of the game. Some battles have multiple phases where they'll platform, then you'll have to battle, and then you'll have to platform. And if you lose at any stage, you get sent back to the beginning, and you have to do it all over again. And you have to watch the videos. You have to, do the battles that you've done before. It's quite different from the platforming part, where if you fell at one of the platforming parts, it just starts you back at that platform part. Where this, it's like, no, you got to start all over. There's a few specific battles that I'm mentioning, and people who have played this know kind of what those battles are. And with there not being so many monsters, if you have a bad party, one of the fights becomes really difficult. So the skip all does not always skip all. It skips parts of conversations. Like, I don't want to. Well, that's the reason I'm not healing. I'm using that power. It doesn't matter. I'm in her soul space, but it'll skip parts of the conversation, not the entire thing. So I have to watch, part A 2 seconds, part B 2 seconds, part C 2 seconds, and then eventually go back to what I was doing. And you also have to pay attention when people are talking, because this game will automatically advance the text. Sometimes I have to read things twice. Not the best reader, and sometimes I don't have the sound on loud enough. But yeah, they will advance the text. So you can easily miss a plot point just because the voice text just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling until you get to the battle, or you're done, and then your character is just standing there. There's 2 parts in the story where your character increases ability drastically, and what the game decides to do is also drastically increase the monsters, which doesn't seem right, because if you get a drastic mystical increase of power, not every other monster in the world gets the same power. To me, it goes back to the kind of the balance. That's how you do that. It's, again, if some deity gave me some super strength or something like that, not everybody in the world would now have super strength. I would have super strength, and I would continue to be super strong, depending on the deity's favor. But no, it increases every enemy strength, and you have to go back through the entire game again, pretty much. It's not like you have to go back to every area, with these new, more powerful monsters, which some of them are annoying because of the time blocking, where you have to time block their bullet exactly, or else you just take full damage. Even if you half time it right, it's still. You can't fast travel between save points, and there's only like 7 fast travel points. But if you want to go back through and get everything, you're gonna have to do a lot of walking, and I'm not a fan of that anymore. Just give me some fast travel. I'm a father, and I work a full-time job. I don't have time to go back through entire areas. Let me fast travel to maybe a quarter of the way there, or something, and let me kind of work it from there. There's plenty of save points in the game that you could easily have done this, and you could have turned them off for the one story event where you have to go back through every place again. That would have been fine. And kind of my last main grudge is, if they don't want you to go somewhere, sometimes they do block it with having like, oh, I can't spear boing, or the Scrooge McDuck, or I can't I can do this. But sometimes what they'll do is they'll just throw an incredibly powerful monster in front of you, in front of that path, and you have to fight it, and it'll kill you, and it will send you back to your save point without all your energy, whatever they call it in this game. Again, it's been a couple months since I've played it. That's a lack of, to me, forethought and balance. You know, if you have one like rare monster somewhere like it's super powerful and you're not supposed to kill it, that's fine. But at a certain point, you know, they're all over the place in one of the maps. You know, if you're like, oh, you have to choose left or right. Oh, left, wrong, you're dead. And that to me is kind of the whole crux of the game. There's that balance. It's missing the balance. It's missing a lot of things that, you know, I think it should have been an action platformer instead. I think it should have been more like a Castlevania game. I think it would have played well, because there are points in the game where you platform, the boss does his thing, and then you hit it, and you go into battle and you beat it up, and then you rinse and repeat. So it's like you have to hit it to get into battle, and then once you're in battle, you beat it up, it escapes, and then you like the RPG thing did not need to be here. It could have been easily taken out and made so much better. Just focusing on the platforming. Even though, in my opinion, there are too many power-ups. Way too many power-ups. There's, you know, the spear throw, the duck, you know, the up thrust. You know, Link only had an up thrust, a down thrust, and a normal thrust. She's got this thing. She's got a slide, a normal slide, something else, an axe, an arrow that changes places with enemies. Kudos on not using a double jump, but that one. But yeah, there's way too many, and that's just for me. I'm getting old, so my memory's starting to fade, and I'm only 40. So, but no, I honestly don't recommend this game. I had Shade has played it a little bit. He kind of had words of warning, and when I told him I beat it, he was kind of surprised. He's like, "Really?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "What'd you think of it?" Like, I didn't like it, but I beat it. So, but no, I got it through Humble Bundle. Again, it tries to be too many things, and whereas the platformer, I think I would have just enjoyed it, but with the RPG mix in it and the platforming, and especially the last boss is uncalled for of what it does. So it took me about 20 hours of playtime. I think the save said like 17 and some change. So there's some points where I died and I rage quit and stuff like that. But no, I don't recommend this game at all. I think there's better, there are better things to play, and there's better things to do. Again, play a Castlevania game if you want to play a platformer, adventure RPG. You have, all the ones on DS. You have Symphony of the Night. You got, I don't know how many there are these days. I haven't played a new one in forever, but play those instead of this. Because this game just kind of just let me down, and it let me down early, and it let me down often, and so that's it for my review of Indivisible. So hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks.